What up everyone, it's your boy Xmanny87 here, bringing you another Marvel Legends video, and what I have for you today is a recap of all the Pulsecon 2022 Marvel Legends reveals, or as I like to call it, RepaintCon. I knew that joke was a hit in my last video. Sorry I couldn't upload yesterday, the day of, as my power went out many times from the hurricane and my Wi-Fi was out, so I couldn't put this up on time. But that's okay, I'm safe, we're here now, and it won't stop us from talking about it. Before we get into everything, if you could please leave a thumbs up, like rating on the video, it'll help show your support for my channel and I greatly appreciate it. Now with that said, let's go! Let's dive in with the first reveal of the day, which is a stylized Retro Deluxe Model 13 Armor Iron Man, which is repainted from that Ursa Major wave, but instead of that hot rod red and gold, we get a bright red and yellow deco. What makes this awesome is the freaking proton cannon. Not gonna lie, I went nuts over this because not only was this my favorite Marvel vs. Capcom special in the game and my favorite Iron Man armor ever, but now I can save myself a lot of money from the Mafex version since I only wanted the cannon in the first place. I'm sure Mafex made them want to do one after their reveal. Which is the cool thing about having other companies making cool products as such, is because they can take inspiration from each other and we as fans can enjoy them. It looks awesome. Probably the biggest weaponized accessory they made for any character in the line. It looks to stand at about the same height as the figure with the flight stand. This is a phenomenal accessory with a great design, and I'm sure it will make those who missed out on the Mafex one to get on board with this one. My only gripe is that they didn't make a wide plasma effect for it. Just a bigger blast effect that came with the Hydra Stomper in the middle. Looks like there are smaller ports around it, so you might be able to plug some of those smaller effects into that one to give it a much fuller blast off look. New gripping Iron Man hands to hold the plasma cannon along with your fists and open hands. A new and larger repulsor ray blast effect for the hand. This one is more dramatic and spread out. On top of that, we get another new effect, which is a unibeam light ray effect that attaches to his chest. So that upper torso design is new. I'm all for this repaint. I'm cool with repaints that add a lot of cool new shit to it, and this has a lot of it. Another new accessory added is a 90s Tony Stark head with the mullet, and I just have to have this. 2 Iron Man helmets with one being brand new. Again, this is my Iron Man here. This Iron Man Retro Series Plasma Cannon Iron Man is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive and will retail for $44.99, which is available right now on the site. Good price if you ask me. That makes the cannon $20. I saw some custom 3D printed cannons going for way more than that. A more affordable option compared to Mafex. So I'm curious to know, are you still going to get the Mafex one or this Marvel Legends if you had to choose one? I pre-ordered 2, one a display, the other for the wall display. This is slated to release in December of this year. Not part of the show, but the first appearance Star-Lord was revealed by former WWE NXT champion Johnny Gargano in an interview with Ryan Ting on a separate video. You can check out the video on the Hasbro Pulse YouTube channel. This made me very happy as I've been clamoring for them to complete the classic Guardians of the Galaxy team. He's on the Vulcan body, he's got that Kree handgun we've seen before and can store it in his holster, a swashbuckling sword. The head sculpt is awesome. I did notice something on his boots that is bothering me. The boots are in a shiny gold plastic, but then if you look at the design on top of the boot, it's in a very dark metallic gold. It doesn't match. When you look at the box art, which is why I hate these renders on the boxes, you can clearly see that the boot and paint design are in the same exact color scheme. They keep false advertising their products on the packaging. If there's a class action lawsuit against them, I don't know how far the "products may vary" slogan will go in defense if there's enough evidence to show the inconsistencies. Or maybe it will save them. I'm not a legal expert, so I won't comment any further here and make myself look dumb, but I know that that shit right there looks dumb. I'll see when I get it in hand. No release date or price confirmed as of yet, but it will be a Walmart exclusive and will be available to pre-order on October 6, 2022. One of the big reveals was the Daredevil 3-pack. As suspected, that A-tier character that Dwight teased a while back to be on that Renew Your Vows Spider-Man body is indeed Daredevil, which is the right choice. No, I don't think he should be on the Vulcan body. Pinless arms and legs with the toe joints. The box shows he has pins, but the promo images show pinless. This is the Daredevil of my dreams for this line. I love the head sculpt. It looks epic. Cranium might be a little on the big side, but I don't think it's a bad thing as it's a cowl that looks like it's actually over a head. Only reuse is the thigh strap for his billy clubs and his belt, which were from his Bucky Cap days. Comes with fist alt hands, billy clubs, and 2 stylized ropes to attach to the clubs. One of the ropes is new and the other is reused from the all new, all different version. Can't wait to pose the hell out of this. Hasbro was real slick with this white Electra. Don't think I forgot when you guys had her, Silk, and Sif in a fan vote. The loser of that vote were said to never be made. But I see what they did here, as this was made on the newer female body and not the older one that was in that vote poll, so they don't look like liars. In all fairness, it's not the same since it's different. Can't complain though, because I really wanted a white Electra and I get an even better version now. On the Shriek body with double pinless arms and legs, I can already tell it will have those 2 gaping holes from the AOA Rogue upper torso. Easy way you can tell is by the wrinkles on her side boob. But that hair should cover it, and my god, that wondrous hair. That looks absolutely marvelous. Then you have her headband sash flowing through it too. This is the best Electra figure already. Fists, gripping hands to hold her sword and size. The head with the do-rag on is A++ as well. Like the way the hair is flowing downwards diagonally. They nailed her likeness on this one. Must get for me. The biggest disappointment of this 3-pack was Bullseye. All figures should have been updated with not one being left out. Bullseye is left out. Might as well put him on the Renew Your Vows Buck 2 so he can pair well in posing with Daredevil. Bullseye is as before with the same accessories. Only difference is he has a blue torso and the digital prints on both portraits. That's it for him. The 3-pack is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive and retails for $74.99, which makes each figure $24.99 each. It's slated for a January 2023 release date. I think some folks will be pissed off that another A-tier character like this classic Daredevil is being offered as an exclusive again. They did it last time in the Amazon exclusive Defenders box set for a classic Daredevil, leaving the all new, all different retro armored version and the other regular classic version from the Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure wave as regular releases. So it's kind of split down the middle. But boy, do they really love to make Daredevil as an exclusive. Hopefully they can do a single release of this in a retro card for those who don't want to drop the $75 on the other figures. I think it's a dope set, but that Bullseye should not make this a $75 set. The other 2 figures are worth it to me, so I'll probably end up selling my old Bullseye figure. Moving over to some Ghostwriter Haslab news, the actual Mephisto figure was on hand and not a digital render. Looks so much better seeing it this way, and we get a true size comparison, as indeed he will measure around 7 inches. The feet still look weird to me. Dwight did confirm that he'll have alternate hands, but was not shown. They did tease the second tier, which looks to be the medallion of the Goblin Queen herself, Madeline Pryor. This has been my most wanted X-Men figure, and I can't believe they are putting her in here. Because if it fails, then we won't get her. But I'm not going to cave into the FOMO, as they'll probably release her anyways if it fails. It's X-Men. They can't help themselves but to release everything X-Men. It's their biggest bread and butter alongside Spider-Man. To be fair though, they did say that the tiers were going to be demonic themed and not necessarily relating to Ghostwriter, as said his dedicated villains. So there you go. We might not get Ghostwriter villains. We might just get any kind of demonic character. It's looking like they're going to depend on the hardcore X-Men fans to back this. By only teasing a tier and not revealing the rest of the tiers, they really shot themselves in the foot. They should have just revealed her, since the rest of the show was all X-Men dominated anyways. Not gonna harp on this. We'll talk again once tier 2 is finally revealed. To dovetail off that, Orb was speculated to be a tier when his blaster was teased back at San Diego Comic-Con, but that rectangular leaked video started rumors that he would be part of an Avengers wave. His source is spot on majority of the time, so that confirms it here. I'm not even going to talk about the damn Bucky Cap body still existing in 2023, making it 11 years in the line. He's got his classic deco, a collar piece, and a big ass eyeball for a head. I'm done. Moving on. Some more Secret Wars goodness, we get Molecule Man. I really like this design. The tunic piece looks to be a new sculpt. You can see it's reusing the Red Skull sleeves and legs. The face is dope with those electric waves on his face. That flame accessory doesn't work here. If they made some crackle effects like the Ultron from the Ursa Major wave, but in a larger size, then that would have been so much better. A big Marvel villain I need to add to my villain collection display. At the 10-year mark for her last figure, the Thunderbolts Moonstone will finally get to hit shelves, but this time she's updated with double-jointed pinless arms. Digital print on her face and is still sporting the white Thunderbolts costume that has the logo embedded as a tramp stamp. I'm glad they kept her designated body, only wish they gave her pinless legs. They gave her all hands this time around. This will definitely excite some fans as that set had a very low production count, making that set very rare and highly sought after on the aftermarket for hefty prices. She will be released as a Walgreens exclusive. Warrior Gamora was revealed for the next What If series, decked in the Thanos battle armor. I think this looks good. The face, the body. Looks like the left foot is on the right side though, and that looks weird. But it's a digital render, so my final thoughts will be reserved. Now it's my time! X-Men time! Kicking off the new X-Men Retro Series wave, glad to see it finally return, is something near and dear to my heart, and that is the Jim Lee X-Men 275 blue and yellow teamed uniform, Wolverine. The 275 team is my most wanted X-Men team to be done next to Whedon's Astonishing X-Men, and I'm so happy to see it come to fruition. We get our very first pinless Wolverine, new legs with the straps molded onto him, new belt. I think the only thing reused is the torso and hands. The hands have those floppy claws, which sucks. I was hoping for an all-new design for his claws. He'll have declawed hands as well, and 2 new Wolverine heads. This is the winner for me because for the longest time I felt Hasbro never got his unmasked heads right. Both of these portraits are the best they've done for Wolverine, straight up. That digital tech adds a lot of realism here, making him look more badass. You know I'm always all in on X-Men. This is getting got instantly. Longshot will be getting a single release in this wave, so those who don't want to chip in on the Mojo multi-pack, then it'll be even more affordable since Mojo already has a single release. The only difference from this Longshot figure compared to the Mojo set is that he'll have the yellow star on his chest instead of the white and a yellow flash in his eye. His merch to strap around his chest and matte finished boots instead of gloss. And that's it. This is the better version in my opinion. Multiple Man in his iconic green and gold costume, 2 new portraits which looks great, a pair of fists, and what looks to be a new pair of relaxed set of hands, but I could be wrong. He's on the 2099 white Spidey buck. That repaint tracker count must be high right now. I think he would have been better off on the Vulcan body. Still, it's an army builder and I'll be buying multiples of this man. Over to the purple carded side of the villains, the dark side, we get Dark Phoenix. With the subtitle The Phoenix Saga under the X-Men main template on the packaging, collectors can now rejoice as the last time she was part of that very rare and hard to find Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack with Cyclops. Instead of the dark red and metallic gold, she's in a nice bright red and yellow deco. It looks to be on the Frankie Ray Nova pinless body and not the Shriek body as she looks taller. I can tell by the legs as they look more slender. They corrected the sash this time around with the Phoenix logo sculpted onto it. Digital touch-up on the face, alt hands, and the same Flaming Phoenix effect accessory as that 2-pack. This is a great update and one I was hoping they would do soon. The Marvel Legends team is always great for giving collectors another chance with hard to get figures in the past by either reissuing the same in a different deco or updating it completely. Finally, a Marvel Legends Avalanche. Toy Biz last made them in their X-Men series subline back in the early 2000s. So this is the first official Marvel Legends Avalanche and will help those to complete the Brotherhood team. Not gonna lie, when he first popped up on my TV, I yelled a bunch of cuss words in excitement, but then as I looked closer onto the figure, I started yelling a bunch of cuss words in disappointment. Yeah, it has outdated arms and legs with the pins. The lower legs, forearms, and torso is new as far as the body is concerned. But it's the head sculpt that's most disappointing for me. Doesn't scream Avalanche to me, as they should have given him the white pupils built into his helmet. Instead, his eyes are exposed and they look very squinty, as if he can't see shit in front of him. He comes with alt hands, but if he had an alt head with the white pupils, that would have helped. Still happy to be getting him to round out my Brotherhood, but I expected better efforts towards a classic X-Men villain. They did a sort of foreshadowing tease of Blob as they mentioned the other Brotherhood members, saying they're getting very close. This reveal made me go nuts, as it was absolutely my favorite reveal, and that is Spiral. Holy shit. I'm not gonna lie, and you've probably heard me say this before, but after that abysmal 6-armed Spider-Man and Doppelganger, I had no hope for a Spiral update. Absolutely zero faith. Best I thought they would do is reissue that same one years ago from the Red Hulk Build-A-Figure series wave with no update, but wow. They proved me wrong here and restored my faith, because this is the update we deserve. I'm happy they proved me wrong. I wanted to be proven wrong to have a badass Spiral figure. All new scopes from scratch here. All 6 arms are double jointed pinless with bicep swivels, hinges, 4 fingers, swappable hands for the metal arm and another for either one of the flesh-toned hands on the left side. Angela's sword and axe, 4 katanas, metallic silver decal, all new sculpted double jointed pinless legs. All these things that I mentioned, the last one did not have. Even the ankles this time around has a pivot, whereas the last one only had a swivel. Boots with the fur, I like them. New belt piece too. Nothing reused from the last one. That head sculpt is phenomenal. The helmet looks badass. I don't think it's removable, so it would have been cool to display her without the helmet. Mwah, it's a pure chef's kiss here. I think I'm already looking at the best Marvel Legends female figure of 2023. Not being chill here, I'm being real here. Like I always keep it real. I don't see any of their female figures topping this one. The entire wave is up for pre-order at $24.99 each and will release sometime in April of next year. These next 2 figures were sneak peeks, and I'm happy to see they are building around that Jim Lee X-Men 275 blue and yellow teamed uniform as we get Storm. New legs with the bands molded in, new arms, those Emperor Palpatine-like hands that we've seen on the giant-sized Storm already, I want to say. It said she'll have powered down hands as well. So don't worry, as not everything she comes with was shown. New belt piece. I want to say a new torso too, but hard to tell if that choke collar is keyed into the sculpt or if it's a separate layer. That portrait is beautiful. The hair sculpt and earrings are probably the best I've seen on any Storm figure. I think this is their best looking Storm face in my opinion. Hopefully the final product lives up to this. I'm ecstatic to get this into the collection. Finally, a Banshee! Dwight, you redeemed yourself, buddy. See? Wasn't that hard. I told you you can do it. This looks awesome. Huge personal attachment here because my first Banshee figure as a kid was this blue and yellow version. So to me, this is my Banshee. Don't get me wrong, I still want a classic green one, but this is the look I love more personally. That yelling head looks like a masterpiece. It was also said that he'll have an alternate head, which wasn't shown. His cape is fabric, which will help with posing. New gloves with the Vulcan hands. New upper torso with the collar molded onto it. I think those are the morph legs. He looks epic. I'm all over this. The funniest segue to reveal a figure was Dwight wearing a Strife helmet, man. I thought this was promoting a new comic roleplay line. I gotta say that this made him look badass. Why my man's looking like Triple H underneath that helmet? I was kind of disappointed to know that it's not for sale because I would have grabbed that, but this opened the doors for a new updated Strife figure with pinless arms and legs. Some new hands, which I'm sure he'll have alt hands to grip his sword. We also get a new head sculpt from scratch and not just a digital makeover. This helmet is layered over the face, unlike the last one that had the face molded onto it. So this looks more realistic in depth. The eyes underneath look white instead of yellow. He has those, what I like to call the helmet fangs. He has those, what I like to call the helmet fangs, which are much longer. It's definitely a much more classic helmet design. Same armored layers as before, but we get a sort of metallic blue deco on his tummy areas and upper thighs. I'm happy with this update. Strife has always been one of my favorite X-Men X-Force villains. Looking forward to seeing what accessories he'll come with. The X-Men animated series line adds Cyclops to its assembly. Many were waiting for this and expecting an update after seeing Morph had those new legs. We speculated that Cyclops would have the same, and he does. A new upper torso with the white strap molded onto it, so we won't have to worry about anything getting loose or shifting the wrong way. This is the most accurate physique I've seen on a 90s Cyclops figure. The only thing that really bothers me is reusing the Vulcan forearms, because you can see there is a clear visible cut across them that was for his high gloves. That kind of killed some of the excitement for me. So if I killed it for some of you, then I'm sorry, but I have to point it out, as they should have made the effort to sculpt a new forearm. They did it for Banshee, but why didn't they sculpt a smooth forearm without the cut? They just left it alone and put the old wristband on. This will go with my animated series line, but not with my comic, because I don't want that cell shading with my comic figures. It won't blend well. Hopefully, if they do a comic version, they can fix that forearm next time around. But I'm skeptical, as I'm not sure they will. Hope they prove me wrong there. That new head sculpt is phenomenal, and I like the hairstyle too. He comes with alt hands. The visor fingers aren't necessary with this costume. I would have preferred an optic blast effect instead. Overall, it's still a great looking figure and the best looking Legend Cyclops in my humbled opinion. It's a Shop Disney and Hasbro Pulse shared exclusive, and will be released in February next year, retailing for $27.99. The X-Men VHS line will take a break in 2023 and will switch over to the Spider-Man animated series. The first will be a double pack of symbiote Spider-Man vs. Carnage, which is weird since Spider-Man never fought Carnage in this suit during that animated series. This will look to be a fun line to collect for us Spidey heads. I think that the figure will benefit from the shading if all the muscle definitions are highlighted in a light blue tone. This will please most collectors that are a fan of the symbiote suit to give it that extra drama. I know some fans have been wanting the blue shading with this suit. I'm cool with or without it, but I know it'll look nice, and I'm always for figures to look better. I'm curious to see what they'll do with Carnage here. More details will come at a later date. And that's a wrap, so no teaser at the end, which is weird not to see it, so they broke the tradition here. Always look forward to seeing that, so it was a bummer that it didn't happen. For my final thoughts, I'm just very happy that this was a great showcase. The last few streams let me down, so it finally feels good to be excited for Marvel Legends again after a rough year so far. This is my primary line, and I care about its success. And I also think this show was great, mainly because this was heavily X-Men driven. Give me X-Men all day, and that's all I need. The losers were Bullseye, Orb, and the Haslab not unveiling tears. The rest were winners in my book. The X-Men Retro Wave was stacked top to bottom. My top 5 favorite reveals were Spyro as my number 1, then in no particular order, Banshee. I might just cheat here and add the 275 Storm and Wolverine here as a collective because I've been dying for those uniforms. Dark Phoenix and Daredevil. Animated series Cyclops is boss too, and it would have made my top 5 if it was a comic version. Electra is even fire too, I love that one. Oh, how can I forget that Iron Man with the plasma cannon? It's so hard to choose, but that just tells me it was a great showing. Even though I'm disappointed a bit with Avalanche's look and not including some effects like some seismic wave effects or some groundbreaking rubble, I'll still add him in the good department out of generosity only because he helps complete the Brotherhood. The good outweighed the bad in this show. G.I. Joe has been kicking their asses lately, and after watching today's G.I. Joe stream, I will say that Marvel Legends are the winners of Pulsecon. Hope they can keep a good momentum going with some strong reveals moving forward. Now I kick it back to you. What do you think of these Pulsecon reveals? I always like to know what are your favorite reveals. Also, what were your biggest bummers? They needed this positive shift to create a slight diversion to take some heat off that Haslab campaign. I give the Marvel Legends panel a strong 8 out of 10 rating. Comment below, let me know, we'll chat about it. That was my recap. Please follow me on Instagram at xmanny87. Hit the notification bell so you always know when my latest videos are up. Share and subscribe if you're new. See you on the next video. Peace.